They rolled up with clipboards, fake insignia, and thinly veiled threats, certain a scare tactic would make a man hand over his house. What they didn't expect was 6 former operators already heading for his driveway. The sound hit sharp. 3 heavy knocks at the front door of Henry Calder's bungalow. In Concord, North Carolina, it wasn't late, and it wasn't early either. Just after 6 in the evening. When people were finishing dinner, pots simmering, TVs murmuring in living rooms. Henry had been at the sink, rinsing a plate, when the knocking cut through. There was nothing casual about it. Not the neighborly tap. This was forceful, demanding. He dried his hands on a towel and moved toward the door, that knock still heavy in his chest. Henry wasn't easily shaken. At 44 he'd weathered layoffs, tight finances, raising kids, even a bitter divorce. But the moment he opened the door, his evening twisted into something he never imagined. 2 men stood framed in the doorway wearing tactical vests stamped in bold white letters, HOA Compliance Unit. They looked the part, radios clipped at their belts, clipboards ready, faces set.
Mr. Calder, that's me. You've been found in violation of neighborhood code. Per HOA policy, you must vacate this property within 48 hours.
Henry let out a short, disbelieving laugh, the kind you give a bad joke.
What are you talking about? I own this house. Mortgage paid off 7 years ago. I met with the HOA president last month.
The shorter, stockier man with reflective shades stepped forward, eyes hidden even in the shade.
Doesn't matter. You're out of compliance. We're authorized to serve notice. 2 days to clear out.
For a second, Henry thought it was a prank. He studied the patch again. HOA Compliance Unit. He'd lived on this street nearly a decade. He'd gotten late notices, fines for overflowing bins, warnings about grass, never men in tactical vests telling someone to leave.
This makes no sense. If the HOA had an issue, they'd send a letter, not show up in combat gear.
The tall one leaned in just enough to make the air thicker. We're not here to debate. You can leave quietly or we can escalate.
Henry's jaw tightened. He wasn't a fighter by nature, but his father taught him real authority doesn't need to roar. Something about these two felt off. Their badges looked like cheap printouts laminated at a corner shop. The paperwork on the clipboards had no HOA letterhead, no signatures. The radios weren't even switched on.
Who sent you? Which board member authorized this? What code am I breaking?
Don't make this harder. We're giving you a chance to walk away on your terms. Most people take it.
Henry stared. Silence stretched between them. He could feel the confidence leak from these men. They weren't from the HOA, not from any agency. They were imposters, and they were standing on his porch trying to strong-arm him out.
You two need to get off my property.
Or what? Call the police and say the HOA came to your door, see how fast they get here.
Henry's chest tightened. Not with fear, but anger. This was a setup, a scam to frighten him into giving up something he'd worked for. He looked toward the street, hoping a neighbor might be outside. Only the distant hum of a mower and a dog barking answered.
48 hours. After that, we handle it our way.
Henry watched them finally turn toward a black SUV at the curb. He shut and locked the door. His hands trembled, not from fright, but fury. He had no idea backup was already en route. Old brothers who would flip the night on its head in ways the imposters never imagined. But trouble wasn't finished knocking. Henry didn't sit. He paced the living room, mind spinning. Who had the nerve to come here in fake patches and threats? He pulled his phone, thumb hovering over the HOA president's contact, then stopped. Something told him not to call. Whoever these men were wanted him rattled, wanted him to act rash. He refused. Instead, he opened the blinds and peered out. The black SUV hadn't left. The 2 men were inside. The driver hunched over a tablet, watching.
Real official.
He stepped onto the porch so they couldn't claim he was hiding.
Hey, who sent you?
The SUV door cracked open. The tall man climbed out, boots heavy, walking back with deliberate pace.
We told you, we're here for the HOA.
You didn't tell me anything. Name the board member, show me proof.
The man's jaw twitched. You're asking too many questions for a guy about to be homeless.
That did it. Henry stepped down off the porch, closing the gap until they were a few feet apart.
You picked the wrong house. I've paid into this neighborhood longer than you've been around. If there was an issue, I'd get official notice. Not 2 guys in fake vests.
The passenger from the SUV approached, mirrored shades flashing.
Read it. We're not messing around.
Henry snatched it. Laughable. No letterhead, no seal, no signatures, just a typed template. Violation code 14B, non-compliance, mandatory eviction. Like something pulled from a free form online.
You think anyone's buying this?
The shorter one bristled. We don't need you to believe us. We need you to pack and go. Most people don't argue. They're scared of trouble.
You came to the wrong house. I don't scare easy.
For a beat, silence hung. The tall one leaned in, voice low.
We can do this the polite way, or the hard way.
Henry's heart thumped, not from fear but from a rising, steady adrenaline. These weren't casual scammers, they were predators betting on intimidation. Henry had been through harder things. He wasn't folding over a fake notice.
You step 1 foot on this porch again and you'll regret it.
What, call the cops? They'll take hours. We'll be gone by then.
Henry's mouth curved into a calm smile. I won't need the cops.
Oh yeah? Who you got?
Henry's eyes flicked to the end of the street where headlights rounded the corner. 3 vehicles rolling slowly. At first the imposters didn't notice. Henry did. He recognized those cars. His backup wasn't a what, it was a who.
Friends of yours?
The SUVs pulled up, engines cut, doors opened, 6 men stepped out, a presence that reads as experience, broad shoulders, focused eyes, a way of standing that says they'd seen things most haven't. Lucas Reed, Ethan Mallory, Gabriel Knox, Reed Mercer, Cole Winters, Hank Morrissey, all former Navy SEALs, all Henry's brothers in arms. The tall imposter's smirk faltered. The moment Henry's friends moved forward, the air changed. The imposters stiffened, their earlier swagger leaked away. This wasn't some casual stopover, it was a wall of calm authority closing in.
Henry, what's going on here?
His tone was steady with steel beneath.
These clowns say the HOA told them I have to leave in 2 days.
HOA compliance unit? Never heard of them.
They show us real credentials.
This is official business. Step aside.
You made it our business.
Those look like surplus shop orders. Stitching's wrong, nowhere. Real field gear doesn't read like that.
We're not here to debate uniforms, we're here to enforce rules.
Which rules? Give us the code.
The imposters hesitated, a pause too long, enough.
They're bluffing.
Henry, standing a pace behind, felt the relief wash through him. He hadn't imagined it. They were fakes, and now he had men who could smell deception a mile off.
You don't understand how serious this is. He must leave.
Lucas cut him off, snatching the flimsy notice from Henry's hand and holding it up for everyone.
This? My kid could make this in 10 minutes. No legal references, no signatures, nothing binding.
The imposter stepped closer. Lucas didn't budge. Neighbors began to peer through curtains. A few stood on porches. Curiosity and alarm rippled down the block.
What's the game? You running a scam, picking houses to shake down and take valuables?
Watch your mouth.
You gonna arrest us with those toy radios?
You made a mistake coming here. You thought you'd find someone who'd fold. You found a man with 6 brothers who don't back down.
I'm not going anywhere.
The imposters' lines fell apart. Their rehearsed intimidation had been built for empty porches and scared targets. Here, it was unraveling.
It's simple. Get in your car and leave now, or stay and let us call the police.
The shorter imposter muttered under his breath. The taller scanned the group, calculating whether this was a bluff. Lucas's thumb hovered over his phone's dial. Tension peaked, neighbors frozen, every eye on the scene. Then the street, already quiet, grew oddly still. Another engine cut through the hush. A dark pickup rolled in, headlights slicing the dusk and pulling up near the black SUV. The imposters hadn't expected more arrivals. From the driver's seat stepped Hank Morrissey, broader than most, moving with a measured calm that unsettled people.
Some party here, Henry? Hank looked the imposters up and down. Hank. Official, huh? That vest stitched wrong, radio's dead, that patch looks like eBay.
Laughter slipped through the group. The imposters didn't like hearing it.
The tall man tried once more to seize control. Tall imposter. This is official business.
Official? You're pretending.
Reed stepped forward. Reed. Pretend long enough and someone who knows the real thing shows up. Every fake peels away.
Stocky imposter. We answer to no one. Step aside.
Cole's tone was measured and cold. Cole. What business? Running a shakedown in daylight?
Henry stood beside Cole, anger smoothing into resolve. Henry, you don't get to threaten my family's home.
The imposters exchanged looks, their script gone, the tall one's composure slipped. The group pressed.
Hank cut in, calm as ever. Hank. Intimidation, impersonation, we've seen this before. You scare people into leaving, take valuables, maybe try to resell a place if you're bold. Hank. But you showed up on the same day 6 former operators and I were having a reunion.
Murmurs spread, phones lifted to record. The audience shifted the dynamic. The hunters found themselves cornered.
The tall imposter snapped, voice high. Tall imposter, you're interfering with federal business.
Lucas barked a laugh. Lucas, federal? Seriously, HOA isn't federal and neither are you. You've been exposed.
The imposter's bravado crumbled. Henry watched as their last threads of confidence unraveled. Their plan had counted on fear, on alone targets who wouldn't question them. They'd met people who'd seen through the act and wouldn't be bullied off their land. And as the block watched, the story was already tilting toward the men who'd refused to be intimidated. The imposters still had a choice: leave now or face consequences they'd never rehearsed for.